Why can't Garrett Cole pitch in big games?
Of all the things to start with, we choose that one.
It's the most recent thing that happened. I don't know what you want from me. Why is Francisco Lindor the best player in New York? Is that we'd rather start?
Francisco Lindor doesn't get the credit he deserves.
No doubt.
That is as diplomatic as I'm going to be with that answer to that bad faith ass question. But jokes aside, Francisco Lindor doesn't get the credit he deserves. As far as Garrett Cole, I don't consider games against the Mets any bigger or not or smaller than any other game. So
if that game were against the Bananas, it would have been a big game. You guys are, if I remember correctly, 11-34 your last 45, or is it out of your last 34? It's 11-23.
Bro, Yankees win small, losses big.
I know
I don't fucking know the record anymore. I don't. They be getting their asses kicked every night religiously. That's all I got for you.
I know it's one game up on the White Sox over the same period of time. I know that's what it is, which is, good. That's the White Sox, another World Series contender. Really just right there, neck and neck.
Like, there's so many things one could say about the Yankees. I don't even know which direction to go, which door to open first. I genuinely don't know. It's just going to be a lot of.
Well, I'll take the reins. What's really important for the Red Sox this weekend, who have lost 5 of 6 coming out of the All-Star break and have virtually lost 0 ground in any race. I don't know that any team has won a baseball game since the All-Star break. Has happened because there hasn't been a whole lot of movement. The Yankees have picked up 1 game on the Red Sox, and they're still only 1 game back of the 3rd wild card spot. So they're very much nothing's really changed, despite the Red Sox losing in every way you can imagine since the All-Star breaks happened.
Both baseball related and non-baseball related, but carry on. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a grand old time. But the reason I think yesterday's game was a big game wasn't because it was the Mets. It doesn't really matter. The Yankees have been sliding for so long now. Like, it's not a small sample size for the Yankees to be playing this poorly. That's where, like, an ace, a traditional ace, and there's a lot of non-analytic talk here, there's a little ball talk. He's got to stop that slide, and he did the opposite. Like, he was the reason they lost.
Well, yes. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue that the ace is supposed to take the bull by the horns or whatever the fuck the expression is, and say, all right, enough, and stop it for even that momentary time period. With that said, his last start was excellent, and he ended up doing that then. Like, this start sucked, and I'm not here to defend anything or him. Like, at this point, I don't even know if the games are big anymore. Like, we passed that a long time ago. Like, just essentially get it together or shut up. I don't really want to hear this, that, and the third. Like, get it together. Like, Aaron, I don't know if you saw Aaron Boone's quotes after the game yesterday.
Why? It doesn't matter what game they're after. They're the same quotes after.
No. Understand my angle here. He switched up. No, it wasn't the same bullshit. No,
all the quotes I saw were the same. That's why
because he's been saying the same thing for 6 years. Yes, I understand that. But no, he switched up. He was like, we're pissed off in this locker room. We got to get it together. He even dropped the shit. He dropped the shit in there and apologized for it like a bozo. But that's neither here nor there. Like, we got to get our shit together, this, that, and the third. So, like, he switched up. And I will ask, because a lot of people care a lot about what Aaron Boone has to say. I've been on record saying that I don't. Damn near every episode of this fucking show. So whatever. Sure. Okay, he said what he said. Are you guys happy now? Like, is this gonna make DJ LeMahieu ground out less? Is this gonna make Alex Verdugo suck less? Like, are you happy? Is this what you wanted? He acknowledged a problem. I guess if that's what we want to call it, we could all see that it's a problem. I don't know why we need Aaron Boone to tell us it's a problem. Aaron Boone also didn't build this fuck ass roster. So are we happy now? He said it. He. The pink elephant that's 1 million pounds in the room, he acknowledged that it exists. Are we happy now? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like if he's doing that, that's the first step to infighting with Cashman. Like, it's the peripherals of it, but it's just like, hey, can you give me some fucking help? Like, any, like, actual major leaguers?
And the thing is, like, to take it a slightly different direction. Like I've been on the show complaining about the Yankees' offensive approach to things and how offensive I find it for the entirety of the show's existence. So I'll take it a step further. So obviously, like we all know by now, I'm invested in people who hit the ball over the fence. I'm not asking for 9 Kyle Schwarbers. I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying, all right, you've done the hard part. Like that's what makes this Yankee team is as frustrating as any that I've seen in a long time. And you would think that wouldn't be the case because they have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. They figured the fucking hard part out. Get the fucking generational talent, and then they're putting bullshit around them. You got the hard part, even though full disclosure, the Soto thing, a seeing eye dog could have told you that was a good idea. Okay, like full disclosure.
Sure.
But the bottom line, the end result is you got 2 superstars. You did the fucking hard part. A common myth among non-Yankee fans and shit, Yankee fans too, is that Yankee Stadium is a hitter's ballpark. No, the fuck it's not. No, it's not. It's good for home runs. Yes, 1,000. That's a good thing, bro. It is bad for every fucking thing else. It's bad for everything else. Like I
feel like it's bad for like triples. Like hitting a triple there feels impossible.
It's like
it feels impossible. I don't know that it's a bad hitting park.
Bad is stretching.
It's not fucking. It is a Cincinnati.
It's a middling hitter. It's a middling park. Like it's right down the middle. Like it's a 100 park factor overall, and that's despite it being the third best home run, the third best park for home runs in Major League Baseball. So I say all that to say this: you look at the home park you play in, and then you're like, you know what we need to do? We need to build around people who don't hit home runs. Where does this make any sense? Like you're filling in the gaps around the 2 superstars with dudes who don't hit home runs. And the thing is, it's not even like, all right, they might not be good hitters, but like they're super fast. And like they get on base and they cause havoc. No, we got DJ LeMahieu taking at bats every day. Every day. We got Alex Verdugo grounded to second every day. Bro, since May of last year, Alex Verdugo got an 85 WRC plus. Since May of this year, he has a 68 WRC plus. We're trying him out there every day. He's been hitting first or fourth the majority of the season. They finally pulled him out of that this week. Like they're like, all right, enough. We'll slide you to 6th. Like we finally they had enough of that shit. So
was that the game Jahmai Jones DH'd and led off? Because that I don't know if that's a better strategy. I don't know if that's like a win. That feels like if anything, a net neutral.
What's funny is you're leaving out a key detail. JD Davis hit cleanup the same day.
Sure, one of the stranger Yankee lineups I've ever seen.
Listen, bro. I'm when the Yankees are winning and things are going good, I find the punt lineups to be funny. They're outright just funny.
Sure.
All this shit is just hilarious. Like, whatever, go lose 10-2. Who gives a fuck? Whatever, it's one game. Bro, the Yankees have won like 10 games in the last month and a half. JD Davis was cut by the Athletics like a month ago. And he went on the IL with a flu and missed like a month. Do with that whatever you will, by the way. But he missed a month with like the flu. Bro, they activated him and then hit him clean up immediately. Bro, that was his first day off the IL. Just the first day. Like, yo, let's throw him in there. And then like again, I don't care about what Aaron Boone has to say. Fine. But like I do find it funny that he's like, JD Davis has been extremely productive in recent years. At what? Ping pong? Darts? Like it ain't baseball. Like what has he been productive at for the last year that I have missed?
He's fine. Like he's a replacement level player, but he's
right.
Fine.
He has not been productive. You don't have to lie. Like you don't have to pee on my face and tell me it's raining. He has not been productive. Like he's fine. Like if JD Davis is batting 8th for you, nobody cares. Excuse me, batting 8th in an actual decent lineup, nobody fucking cares. Like whatever. Let him take his little bats, hit the occasional home run. We celebrate when he hits a home run and move on. Fine. But yeah, like the team built and to take this another avenue. I'm just gonna take the next couple minutes to hate a little bit. All right. So back to Mr. Verdugo, right? Okay. I know you watch the Yankees and Red Sox have played 6 times this year or 9? Whatever it's been. 2 series, 3 series?
It's just been 1 in each, yeah.
Yeah, 2 series. Okay. So Verdugo got them bright ass, I don't know what color, teal, turquoise, whatever the fuck shoes there are, right? Okay. He got that big ass oven mitt in his back pocket so for when he gets to first base, they run blah blah blah. Hey man, first of all, that shit takes a mad space. Like, yes, I'm talking about this motherfucker's other man, okay? First of all, that shit takes a mad space. Second of all, you don't ever use it. You don't get on base. You don't get on base. I can't think of a more useless accessory. It don't get no tick. Your other men don't get no tick because you don't get on first base. And you can't steal first base. So, but beside the point, yeah, man, it's a lot. And it's painfully boring. Let me tell you, that's the worst part about this. The losing is whatever, dog. Like, I mean, not whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not whatever. Like, it sucks when you get your tail's kicked in every fucking day. But like, bro, it's just Soto hits, Judge hits. I stop caring. That's how this goes every game. And this is, and I want to make it clear, this is no disrespect to Austin Wells. This is not really about him. And there's no disrespect to Ben Rice. I think those two dudes could beat somebody. This ain't about them.
Ben Rice is hitting like 112 since he had that 3 home run game. Like,
I get it. He's still making decent swing decisions. He's going through a slump. It happens. I think he can be okay. So whatever, those two dudes could be somebody. This ain't really about them. This is about coming into the season with the lineup being what it is. And the only thing unpredictable that happened this entire time is Gleyber forgetting how to play baseball. The rest Giancarlo Stanton got hurt. Duh, no shit. Well, Jason Dominguez already was hurt. So what are we
even talking about Gleyber getting hurt? It felt like when Stanton was healthy, he was exceeding expectations. So it was like you were kind of still getting.
But he was though. He was. He was.
No, I know he was. I know he was. But I'm saying that kind of evens it out. Like if Gleyber had been doing what Stanton was doing and Stanton was doing what Gleyber was doing, no one would have batted an eye. Like everyone would have been like, yeah, this makes sense. So that's where it's like you were still getting the same overall level of production.
No, you walked into the season with 3 dudes we knew are good hitters. That's literally what happened. Judge, Stanton, Judge, Soto, and Gleyber. Stanton's last 2 years have been bad. So like nobody expected shit. And then he came out, he was doing well.
Right. I'm asking this in genuine good faith. Do you think because they have 2 max 3 good hitters, that's a reason the Yankees say, should we invest in Soto, knowing the rest of our lineup's kind of dog shit? Like, I'm not saying, the Mets are going to overwhelm them, this, that, and the third. The Yankees internally be like, hey, we're already paying Cole $300. We're paying Judge, what do you get, $360?
Yes.
Something like that, $360. We've got Rodon for $150 or $160, whatever it was. And then Stanton's still got, 3 years left?
Something like that.
2?
Yeah. I think it's 3. Yeah.
Is that where they're like, hey, Verdugo's obviously a free agent. I can't even joke and say they're going to re-sign him. That would be too funny. I don't imagine they're going to do that. But it's like
Verdugo's a Yankee and Soto's not.
Right, that would be hilarious. But I don't want to picture that. But that's where it's like, hey, do you think they could? Because Hal, as much as you've said they're going to sign him, I think that was during when everything was going well. I think now when they look at this lineup and Severino's across town being like, yeah, they've got 2 guys. Just don't pitch to those 2 guys. And it's like Severino's catching shit for that. The whole world knows that. That's not new. That's not news.
I don't understand how he like first of all, the man was clearly joking. Okay, you know what? Let me walk that back.
I mean, he was joking. It
was good-natured joking, but they say every joke got a little bit of truth to it. So, like, that's what it is. It's good-natured joking, but it's not exactly untrue either. So, as far as the question, the thing is, I don't think the Juan Soto trade in the first place was made for solely baseball reasons. I don't.
Sure.
Like, the Yankees are star fuckers. That's what they like. That's what they go for. This one was a guy who they didn't have to give up an exorbitant prospect price, even though one, and I know you're going to roll your eyes, I don't care, I'll say it. One can make the argument, given the context around that trade, that the Yankees overpaid. The only reason I say that is because there was one suitor. It was them. There was one fucking suitor. Nobody else was, which is embarrassing, by the way, but that's a separate topic.
Terrible,
there was one fucking suitor. So, like, you can make the argument that they overpaid. But back to the question, the thing with that is the Yankees, much to their detriment, in my personal opinion, they are deathly afraid of bad PR. That's just how they get down. That's how they are deathly afraid of bad PR. I don't think that they traded for Juan Soto, given that he's a superstar. We know he's a fucking superstar. And if he walks, he's going to the Mets. Like, I think that's a layup at this point. Maybe the Dodgers are like, hey, fuck it. and just continue to spend, maybe that's possible. But I think the good money says if he leaves the Yankees, he's going to the Mets. Do you understand? And again, we're talking about a lineup featuring two good dudes, two question marks who can maybe be good, and then dog shit. Like basically, is essentially what we're talking about right now. They can't afford to let him go. No, I'm talking about
the Yankees. Okay,
the Yankees. Yeah, they got two good dudes, two possibles, and then dog shit. So like, you of all people cannot afford to let Soto walk. And for once, Aaron Judge's opinion on baseball players will be welcome here. For once, because he loves the guy. They fuck with each other. I'm assuming, no, I know he has Hal and Brian's ear. I'm aware. I've seen how they built the fucking team the last 3 years. This is what Aaron Judge likes. This is what he likes.
Sure,
players are stupid, but this is what the fuck he likes. They can't afford to let Juan Soto walk. And honestly, this stretch has exacerbated the problem. At least if they were still all performing over their heads, and let's say they get to the offseason, the Yankees either make the World Series or win the World Series. And then you can say, all right, well, job was done. And then you could let them walk. Bro, imagine they do all this shit. They flame out around when they're like, you know what, we can't afford Juan Soto. They burn Yankee Stadium down after that.
Missing the playoffs is on the table. Like, it's not out of the question.
I think it's unlikely, but it's not off the table.
I think it's super unlikely. Like, you're coming to Fenway this weekend.
Bro, the only thing I'll say is like they still have those two dudes.
For sure. And I think if most teams start treating them like the Mets,
and everybody in the AL stinks. Like all of them, top to bottom in the fucking AL, all of them suck. Like, to be fair, I haven't looked at the standings because I don't want to look at the Yankees outside of watching the games. At this point, I haven't looked at the fucking standings in a minute. So I don't know what the fuck Cleveland is doing. So forgive me. If Cleveland's
running away with the American League, let alone they're
right. Okay, so Cleveland is doing great. Good for them. Outside of everybody's like, oh, we don't really like this whole prosperity thing. Everybody's on the same time.
The Royals right now, I mean, Bobby Witt overtook Aaron Judge, and that's not a shot. He overtook him in WAR over the weekend. Right. And he's got them in a playoff spot. Like, Judge today would not win MVP. He just wouldn't. And he's had an absurd year. Soto's had an absurd year. He's not the MVP candidate of his own team.
Yeah, he'd probably be fourth in the AL.
You're right. Gunnar would be at least third, if not second. If the Yankees keep sliding, I do think that will get held against him in a way it doesn't Trout and other guys. Like, it's just not the same thing. Where the Yankee bias helps a lot of guys, I think it would hurt if they were the sixth wild card even. Like, which is genuinely on the table. I know the standings better because we've been fighting for our lives all year. We didn't just start stinking like you idiots. We've been doing it off and on all year, very comfortably. So the Royals are one game up on us right now. They're holding a playoff spot. The Twins are doing all sorts of weird shit. Like, they had Christian Vasquez playing third base for a whole game. All sorts of wild stuff going on out there. Now, Correa's hurt, and Royce Lewis is taking his monthly trip to the IL, so that happens. Like, you got to do what you got to do to survive. I get all that. But it's like if I were to look at it objectively, like Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, like the Twins rotation, Pablo Lopez, like them being three deep, is more than I can say about either of our teams. Like, there's plenty of guys I like when they toe the rubber. I don't like them as much as Joe Ryan. I don't like the Ober. I don't necessarily love, but the numbers are what the numbers are. He's been good this year. Lopez's numbers were down to start the year. He was so good last year. He's bounced back like the last month or so. That's where it's just like, okay, yeah, that's that 1, 2, 3. The Royals, obviously, they feel really good about Reagans, and Seth Lugo's had a career year and all this. And they've got Bobby Witt, who's been the best player in baseball up to this point, at least in the American League. So that's where it's just like, yeah, these teams aren't just like thrilled to be in the conversation. Like, the AL Central or East is going to have 3 teams. Like, one of those two will get 3 teams. I don't know that's going to be 2 and 2. I think one of those two, either the Red Sox and Yankees and Orioles are all going to make it, or the Guardians, who I believe still have the 1 seed by like a comfortable margin, because the Orioles have also been bad. Like, the Orioles have not been able to get out of their own way. Yeah. Like, the Orioles, if they were serious, would have a 10-game lead on the Yankees and Red Sox right now. The fact that it's still like the Red Sox aren't going to do this. I'm going to preface it with that. they're not out of the race for the 1 seed in the AL East, which is outrageous. Like that's bad for both of you two idiots. Like that's horrible.
Legit. The fact that the Red Sox are actually in the same neighborhood and can actually talk to either team is crazy. It's insane.
I'll say this because we've been floating it on Section 10, and the more I think about it, the more it's correct. If Casas didn't go down, we would be leading the AL East right now, like comfortably. 2-3 games up on the Orioles.
I don't know about that.
We've been playing fucking Garrett Cooper, and Dom Smith's been okay sometimes.
I'm aware, but like the Red Sox are what, 6 games out at the moment, or 5.5? Which is it?
I think it's 6, but a lot of those games are like 1-run games, or our first baseman just drops the ball.
Not arguing, but like we're saying that Tristan Casas is worth a 6-win difference, at least.
Like he wouldn't be like a 6-WAR player. I understand that's not the math,
no, just fuck the war. I'm just saying
the way we lose games. Yeah, I do think that's been the difference.
Interesting. Okay, fair enough. But
like we lose 1-run games, like it's no one's business.
Like I'll say this:
and we're talking about
they'd be on both the Yankees and Orioles' asses. I don't know about leading, but it'd be like, the Red Sox are 2 games out coming into this weekend or something like that. I agree with that because they have been playing dog shit in this place. You're right. Like, I can't argue that.
And I think it's what a top 10 hitter in the AL East.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Maybe even higher. I'm trying to be conservative because
I love the guy too. Well, as much as I can, a Red Sox player. You get the point. Respect his abilities. So yes, well, top 10.
That's where I think that kind of consistency. We've been more injured than you guys. We've been more injured than the Orioles. It just feels like if. Now, with the injuries, like David Hamilton's popped, but that's like we didn't need everyone to get injured, just a couple of guys. That's where it's been annoying. So that's what, when we had Passan on and he was talking about the Red Sox talking about buying and selling and shouldn't we be happy with where we are? It's like not necessarily. Like I look at the whole American League, and that's where I hope we're still buying even after this 1-5 start. Because I don't see anyone where I'm like, oh, I'm terrified if we face that team in the playoffs. Like, I don't – and I'm not saying that you're going to walk to the World Series either, but it's more like it's kind of up for grabs. I don't know that there's someone who I'm like, oh, yeah, that team's walking there. Like, I keep hearing the Orioles need another pitcher. They have Burns and Grayson at the top of their rotation. I understand having a third ace, like if they got Crochet or someone like that. Yeah, that would be helpful for sure. I'm not denying that. But they should have enough, and they I didn't know why I cut out there. I was saying the Orioles should have enough as is, and they just seemingly don't.
And I mean, the point that you're making and the avenue you're driving down right now is why I'm like not like completely mentally checked out on the season, because it's like, yes, the Yankees have been ass. I'm not here to argue. Is there a world where they make 2 or 3 reasonably significant additions at the deadline and take off? Yeah, like there is. Like, listen, man, there's a world where 3 weeks from now, Stan and Dominguez are in the lineup, and like they acquire, let's say, a second baseman, third baseman. God knows they need a third baseman. Jesus Christ. Whichever of those. Like, there's a world where things look better, and nobody has ran away with this shit while the Yankees have been playing literally like the White Sox. So that's the only thing that's keeping me here. Like, all right, they could still get places. Does that mean I'm happy with this shit? Fuck no. Does that mean I actually like watching the team at this point? Hell no. Yeah. So like it's kind of just, all right, they're still in it. They just need to do X, Y, and Z. Now, do I trust them to do X, Y, and Z? No. But if they do something reasonable for a fucking change, who knows where it could lead? Because again, the Orioles have had an opportunity to put that shit so far, put us so far in the rearview mirror that they could do whatever they want. They could trade for whatever they want. They could arrest people when they want to arrest them. And then they've been nearly as bad as the Yankees have been in the same time frame. So it's right that, or as Aaron Boone would say, it's right in front of us. It's in front of us, you know?
It's been in front of you guys since like 6 years now. Like, it's just constantly in front of you guys, and one day maybe you'll grab it. I don't know.
You really think that was necessary? Like, that was cool to you? Like,
he's been saying it for 6 years. If he's not playing Red Sox 04 highlights, he's saying it's right in front of you guys. Like, I don't.
You just played the greatest hits.
He's my favorite person alive. Like, he's the best. And Yankee fans, like every week, I'll see a Yankee fan, whether it's Joe's, whether it's Hubs, somebody will tweet out like, "This is the time to fire Boone," and then the same conversation happens under it. It's not the manager's fault. Fire Cashman instead. He can only play what they want. They've actually overachieved with how bad this team. It's every week. It's every fucking week. It's so funny.
Listen, I can't imagine. Like, first of all, like, we've had the discussion about managers, how we had them last week. I just don't think they're as important as other people do. So I'm not going to sit here and have discussions about Aaron Boone's job security.
No, of course. I'm just saying that's what I see.
I know, but like, and I'm commenting like I can't, because I see the same shit you do. I'm just like, you guys can't really be disenthralled by Aaron Boone discussion every single fucking day. There's no way you guys are disenthralled by it. And again, listen, I'm not here to defend Aaron Boone's in-game decision-making. I don't think he's bad at it. I don't think he's great at it. I think he does some shit that's good, that makes sense. I think he does a lot of spellbinding bullshit. So like, I'm not here to defend him in any way. This is not an Aaron Boone defense. I will make myself clear. They can fire him tomorrow. I'd be like, okay, cool. Who's next? I don't, like, that's where I'm at with it. Like, this is, but again, looking at the lineup, like, yes, they have Aaron Judge, they have Juan Soto. That's great. Lovely. I don't know, unless Aaron Boone becomes a magician overnight, I am not sure what the fuck you want him to do with the rest of these people. I don't know what you want them to do.
If
like DJ you coming up is right. Like, what you want to become David Blaine? Like, if he's David Blaine, okay, cool. Like, great. That might help.
If he came out with one of those stupid fucking hats and a wand and he cape, that's where I think he'd get shot down. Like, I think he would just get shot down immediately. I was thinking about it because I've been listening to a lot of Francesa lately because he's the GOAT and he's just absolutely kills me. He's so fucking funny. And obviously he loves is that fair? He loves the Yankees more than anyone, right? Like any other team, rather.
Yes, he sure does. Always has.
Yeah. So when they stink, he just gets so angry so immediately. And like, I'm listening to him before the season. He's like, you got DJ coming back. He's going to be at least a professional hitter. That was before the season. Now he's like, you can't play this fucking guy. Like, get him away from me. And it's just like, he'll give players such a long rope. And then when they lose, certain players, obviously, when they lose it, it's gone. Like, there's nothing DJ LeMahieu could do to get it back. He's out on Cole. He's out on so much of the team, and he's in on Ryan McMahon, which I'm sure most Yankee or half of Yankee fans are.
Sure. Bring Ryan McMahon. Sure. DJ LeMahieu is the third baseman. Like, I can't really be a beggar here. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, rather. I can't be that fucking choosy, bro. DJ LeMahieu has like a 50 WRC plus, bro. And when I tell you that every single ground out is predictable, listen, if you could bet on LeMahieu groundouts, the odds would be like minus 1,000 for every at bat. Like that's literally all he fucking does. And what's particularly funny about LeMahieu, and I don't have any numbers to back this up. I just watched him. Okay, every fly ball you see him hit, the rare ones that you see him hit, nobody's ever on base. It's the funniest shit on earth. It is.
That was
really
the double
funny.
he laced against the Red Sox. It was a leadoff double.
Exactly. If there was a runner on first, you know what you would have did?
Oh, double play.
Devers to whoever, David Hamilton to whoever the fuck your first baseman is. Double play. That's all he does. If there's a runner on first and less than 2 outs, he's going to bang into a double play. And that leads me to, I don't understand why, and I get it. The Yankees don't have any fast people. I understand that.
No.
And you guys have been beating me, besides him, sorry. Volpe and nobody else. You guys have been beating me over the head with the whole, we need to make a transition to more contact-based stuff. DJ will put the bat on the ball. I'll give him that. It's never good, but he puts the bat on the ball. Okay? Sure. Okay, then put the runners in motion more, bro. I am fairly certain that DJ LeMahieu is either near or at the top of the leaderboard in double plays. If he's not at the top, I'd be surprised. But
I feel like I saw who's at the top recently. It's someone good.
Okay, so it's not him. Clearly.
No, it's not him.
So like the top, let's say top 5 in double plays, and he gave everybody else like a 3-month head start. So like there's that. Send the runners in motion then.
Sure.
Send him in motion. While you might as well. So when that ground ball happens, because you know it's gonna happen, it's all that's been happening. At least you stay out of the critical double play. But they don't, and then it's just double play after double play after double play after double play. He is the single most egregious rally killer I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not even exaggerating.
I don't know if he's the worst rally killer on the Yankees.
He is.
Verdugo's got to be up there in double plays. He grounds that shit right to second with the best of them.
Listen, he's at least Verdugo was performing over his head for like a month and a half. Not even a month and a half, a month. Because since May 1st been dog shit. So April was good. April was good. At least I could point to that for him. DJ is like, we've had a couple years of this. Of just nonstop double plays. Yeah, go ahead.
If for whatever reason the Blue Jays offered you guys Vladdy to play at third, would you entertain that? Or first? You don't have one of those either, actually.
What are they paying?
Right, like whatever. That's not even. I'm just more saying, would you take Vladdy after you've been so low on him?
Yes, 1,000%. Listen, there aren't many third base or quote unquote third base because he's not really a third baseman. But let's play along.
No, 4 games. He's not a third baseman.
Yeah, like there aren't many third basemen you could bring to me right now that I would be like unequivocally no. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Gio Urshela. Let's not. Let's not. That man's been running 85 WRC plus for 2 years. I aim higher than that, please. That's all.
Yeah, you trade for Gio when you need a glove, not a bat.
Correct. Or a bench fodder, not somebody to start.
Vladdy pushing a 141 OPS plus in a year where OPS, like the average OPS, I know was 100. This year it should be like 90. This year it should be about 90.
Offense has been so bad league-wide, yes.
There's no way he's only been 41 percentage points above this league's average.
Yeah, he's been quite good. Can't knock him for it. He's been quite good. And he turned the corner at some point recently. And like he's
with the homers. It's really just the homers. He's been good all year, but it was really like a lot of doubles and singles.
Right.
Now,
because he went from he was pushing like a 110, and then like he just started whacking homers every day. It's like, all right, here's the 140. Here it is.
Yeah. So, I think he had something like 9 home runs up until June 1st or something like that. And then since then he's hit another 10.
I'll say this. I don't know what the Red Sox setup is as far as like first base, third base, DH at this point. But the idea of them trading for Vladdy terrifies me. They're not going to do it, but the idea that it can be a thing, buddy, terrifies me.
I mean, the thing is, he would dominate Fenway Park, like absolutely.
That's what terrifies me because the thing is, I think Vlad he might need a slight kick in the ass as far as like, hey guy, you're big and you're fucking strong. Enough with the fucking hard hit ground balls. Like, yeah, some of them get through, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But like, you have immense power. Use it. He gets to Fenway. He sees that wall 3 feet from home plate. What the fuck is he going to do?
He would be a perfect. It's tough. Like I keep trying to bring it up on Section 10, and I don't know that it's clicking with my pals, those fucking morons. Like, they're not going to be super active in free agency, not because I'm like, oh, John Henry's a cheap fuck. That's certainly part of it, but they don't have any space for people. Like, Costas is on the IL, obviously. Right. Trevor Story should be DFA'd. Like, there's nowhere. That's not even me being like, fuck Trevor Story. There's nowhere for him to play. The number of Keith Law just came out with his midseason. I think he did top 60 for prospects. Jackson Holiday was number 1. Marcelo Meyer was number 2 in all of baseball. It wasn't the AL East. Marcelo Meyer was number 2 in baseball. The Red Sox had 5 people in his top 60. Now, Keith Law is one guy, and he loves being one guy. He talks to a lot of scouts. He sees a lot of minor league and college baseball. It's not like an insane thing. Marcelo Meyer's been awesome this year. I didn't think he was going to be number 2 when I saw a list. Baseball America has him in the top 10, so it's not like it's that crazy.
Yeah.
But Meyer's coming. Like, he's going. I think there's a shot he makes the team out of camp next year. Like, he should at least be given a fair shot. You shouldn't be using Story's contract to potentially have a better just baseball player. I'm not going to say he's a better defender. but better baseball player. He's already that. That's not a question in my mind. Anthony's coming. Like, Anthony's not far behind him. Teal, because of age, is going to be here before both of them. Obviously, he's just a catcher, so that's not really fucking up anything else. It's just the masturbator who's going to lose his job. First, third DH, like you were talking about, Casas is obviously part of the short and long-term plan. Devers is signed until 2050.
Right.
There's a lot of people who prefer him to be a DH, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but I think finding a third baseman is much harder than finding a DH. If the Red Sox were going to go out and get Vladdy and just be like, we're going to live with what Devers gives us a third, because to be truthful, and I've said this a bunch of times, Devers only fucks up easy plays that don't matter. When it's a difficult play that does matter, he makes that more often than not. So is he some like sure-handed Nolan Arenado? Of course not. He's still in his mid, I think he's turned 27 maybe this year, 26, 27. There's no real rush to move him over to DH. If they were to add Vladdy, DH sure makes sense. Like, you're basically, Tyler O'Neill expires at the end of the year. You're going to bring up more outfielders. Christian Campbell obviously has been tearing the cover off the ball since they drafted him. Oh, by the way, they just drafted the number 4 prospect in this draft, who's another corner outfielder, and obviously a college bat, so he's not going to be in the minors all that long either. They have to subtract from this team, not necessarily add. So that's where it's like, yeah, if all these guys are going to be hitting free agency, they're really like probably going to be looking at pitchers, and then we'll see. We saw how the pitching market was last year. So yeah, Vlad makes sense almost more to trade for than to wait and sign. Because if you can package, like, again, depending on what they're looking for, I don't know. I have no idea what they're looking for. But if it could be like a Abreu plus whatever prospects you want to throw in there, obviously not Meyer or Anthony, but if you want to talk about the rest of them, I think it makes some sense to start looking that way, because you don't have any room for all these people.
True. All well thought out. And something I really have no interest in saying, I really do not need Vlad in that ballpark hitting either in front of or behind Devers. And
yeah, it would be Devers, Vlad, Casas.
I have no interest. I have no interest in that whatsoever. Because the thing is with Vlad, like, obviously, like, he has the power. Like, the swing stuff is not exactly optimized. I mean, even though he's been better at that recently, whatever, cool. But like, they're gonna get to Boston and be like, you know what? You know what I could do? I can hit the ball. I can hit the ball that way. That big ass fence. I can hit the ball in the air that way. Like, I have no interest in it. None.
Blue Jays came here early June, late May. The baseball season is so fucking long. They were here within the last month and a half.
Yeah. So yeah.
He hit one over the monster. They said it was like 450. I was like, of course, that was 712 feet. Like, that was shot. Like, what are we talking about? So that's where it's like, yeah, I don't think it's that crazy unrealistic. I just also don't think it's going to happen. So that's why I'm not trying to think about it. But I do hear about it more often than I feel like I should.
What, as far as like noise, or as far as people just wishing upon a star?
Somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Like, somewhere in the middle of those two things. Like, I haven't heard it from, like, before we got Schwarber, I had heard that they were targeting him and like 2 other first basemen, even though Schwarber had never played first base a game in his life up to that point. So they were but I heard that he was in the running for someone they were going to look at. I haven't heard that any official capacity that they're looking at Vlad, but I just, when things start to bubble like that, I don't think it's insane. Like, the Jazz Chisholm stuff bubbled to a point where an inside source was like, we can't trade for Jazz Chisholm. Look at him. That's a Yankee? Of course not. We don't even have anything to tell him to cut, and we're still going to make him cut it.
Can I go? Are you done? Oh, okay. I understand how public negotiations work. I'm going to lead off with this. So what I'm about to follow with might contradict myself, and I'm perfectly fine with that. The last thing I want to hear from the New York Yankees is about a clubhouse issue. I would rather you tell me he got an average OPS plus, and we got enough of those dudes. That's a lie too, but I'd rather you flat out tell me that shit instead of, oh, we don't know how he fit in the clubhouse. Okay, first of all, let's take it to a non-baseball place for briefly. You guys employed multiple woman beaters on the same team. Multiple for years. Mind you, one of them beat on his woman at a team event, bro.
Right.
A team event, and you kept him for years after that. You kept Chapman. I mean, you got Chapman at a discount in the fucking first place because he beat his wife. That's the thing that's the thing that happened. Okay. Pushing aside the non-baseball stuff. Let's keep it baseball. Josh Donaldson was reviled in the Twins dugout, Twins clubhouse. You went and you got him, right? And then my favorite, the Red Sox popped bubbly when you dumbasses took Verdugo off their hands. Pop bubbly. And all of the shit with the Red Sox and Verdugo was public. So it's not like this shit is some secret. I don't follow the Red Sox. Like, I know you, I follow Steve, I follow like 5 other people who like the Red Sox. That whatever I get from the Red Sox is from y'all. I don't follow them. And even I knew what the fuck was going on with Alex Verdugo. I don't follow the Sox. I knew everything about that shit. And it was not a fucking secret. You guys took him on. And again, the Red Sox couldn't wait to do it. They were just like, here, please, what do you need? You need us to pack his shit too? Like, what do you need from us? So the Jazz thing, and I once again, I understand public negotiations. I understand throwing out leaks to try and drive prices down. And to be fair too, the Jazz shit is not exactly old. They've been throwing that around for a while. Yankees or non-Yankees. And let's just call a spade a spade. It reeks of schism. Let's call a spade a spade. It reeks of fucking schism. Like, I don't think I had to. Well, yes, flat out. It is. Yes. Flat out fucking schism. So, like, throw it all in a box. And, like, any other team says that shit, I'm like, all right, you suck. Like, fuck you, whatever, and move on. I'm not trying to hear from the Yankees. Nah, bro, stop it. I'm not trying to hear that from y'all.
I mean, like, he shouldn't be allowed to play for, like, he does as in a non-racist way. He doesn't fit your culture. You guys fucking suck and are boring. He kind of sucks sometimes, but he's not boring. Like, he's a very exciting player when he's on. So that's where it's like, hey, you don't deserve a fun player. I mean, the Yankees don't get fun players. It's not what they do.
They don't do fun.
No. Again, like, imagine if Brett Gardner was on the team and Jazz Chisholm walked in the clubhouse. Like, he'd give him a speeding ticket just for walking in. Like, that's just what his DNA would tell him to do.
A speeding ticket is insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, not a lie. Like, yes, the Yankees are usually the boring team, and the Yankees usually have a cop in the clubhouse. But I don't know who the cop is in this clubhouse. And before you say it, I know Carlos Rodon looks like one. He don't have the voice to be one. With that goofy ass mustache, he definitely looks like a fucking police.
No, I'm not denying that he looks like one, but I don't. Right. He doesn't have the cachet to be the cop.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He doesn't have the cachet to be one.
And has it ever been a pitcher? Like, it's always been a position player.
Fair point. It's harder to be one as a pitcher.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you're typically only talking to pitchers. It may be. Listen. It might be Judge. Like, he's not Captain Fun. You know what I mean? He's kind of a loser. Nasty at baseball. Like, insane athlete.
Like, I'm losing. Listen, I'm not going to. Loser might be a bit harsh, but, like, I'm not going to sit here and act like you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it might be a bit harsh. I can't really sit here. Listen, there's a reason I don't have any real emotional attachment to the dude.
Well, he never won anything for you guys.
No, not that. But, like, bro,
if he had 3 rings, you'd have a ton of attachment to him.
Not really, Coley. Not really. Listen, yes, winning is great. Winning is important. I'm not, like, my fandom isn't the same as it was when I was 10. Like, yeah, winning is cool. Like, I like fun too.
Soto.
Yeah, right. And Soto's fun as shit. Right. Exactly. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like Soto, I have all kind of emotional attachment to him, and he's played for my team for 80 games. So, like, yeah, like, the Judge thing is, it's just, I respect his baseball abilities. I will go to bat for him there, and everything else, like, all right, he's just a dude. He's there. He plays baseball spectacularly well. And outside of that, it's just like, there's nothing there. I'm not gonna buy this man's jersey. I ain't gonna buy no shirts with his face on it. It is what it is. Like, I respect him, and that's where we leave it.
I think that kind of makes my point. I think that's where I think he is the cop.
Sure,
Like,
I'm not going to see you
if
argue.
he's
Maybe he
if
is.
he's telling Strowman like we don't do that here. If he's staring, who did he stare down? Someone bat flipped you the other. Oh, it was Jose Siri.
That man was looking off into the distance. He ain't stared down nobody. But he was right in the Strowman thing, and he was right with that anyway. I know people are like, oh well.
I'm not denying that. It's just
No, I
more
know,
that the cop role
yes,
as well.
he is that guy in the clubhouse. Like he
Yeah.
is the cop. Like I'm not here to argue that at all. Also, the Jose Siri stuff was really funny because I think for once, like the Yankees handled that the way you should. It's like, okay, Jose Siri hit a home run. Okay, cool. He had 2 home runs. He took about 8 years to round the bases on both of them. Mind you, I have no problem with that. It's legal.
Right.
Like nobody cares. Like, take as much time as you need. Do handstands around the bases if you fucking want. I do not care. How they responded, Juan Soto hit one and it took 40 seconds to round the bases. That's how you respond. Stop hitting people because they take too long. And granted, like that hasn't really been a thing anymore like that. But you still hear the suggestions for it all the time. And it's like, why do you guys want to give people free bases in close games this bad? Just because they pissed you off because they hit a ball 430 feet and they acted like they hit a ball 430 feet? Like, act like you've been there before. Jose Siri can't hit, bro. Like, stop with the act like you've been there before because when and like I swear to God, I'm not bringing up David Ortiz to hate, but I'm bringing him up because back when he was at the peak of his powers, he would stare at every home run he ever hit for 30 seconds. It was annoying because he hit them, not because he stared at them. But then you have like, oh, well, he's earned the right to do that. Well, it's either act like you've been there or not. Like it can't be fucking both. And he's been there fucking plenty. And he still don't act like he's been there before. Nor fucking should he. You hit a ball 440 feet. Do whatever the fuck you want. Make myself clear. If you hit a ball that far, do whatever you want. Somebody throw you 98 and you take that shit, over the left field wall and family onto the street, brother, stare at it, sing to it, do whatever you want to do, but it can't be both. Like, act like you've been there before. Juan Soto don't be acting like he's been there before either when he hits home runs.
No, because he's cool. That's why I think he's probably a Met. He's too cool. He's too cool for the Yankees. Now he's very professional.
I mean, the Mets employ Pete Alonso. We're talking about cool and not cool.
They drafted him. They've been trying to trade him for 2 years. So I think
they have not been trying to trade him for 2 years. They would trade him if they were trying to trade him.
I don't think so. Like, I do think they've been offered shit for him because he's a first baseman who just hits. Like, I don't know. There's a ton of teams like that. I still think most of the league
when they resign him. Then,
huh?
We will circle back when they resign him.
I think that would have happened already. Genuinely, I don't think they're going to resign him. I think they only resign him if they don't get Soto. I think if they sign Soto, he's long.
I think they resign him because I think he's going to come at a discount. Well, relatively.
That's why I think it would happen by now. I think it would already happen.
I think you can't turn down what he turned down and then take a deal before you get to free agency. I just don't think you could do that. Like, optics wise, it just you are admitting defeat in a way that nobody ever does. Like, you turn down $175 million or whatever it was, 150, I forget the number. Like, you can't then turn around and take a deal before you even get to free agency. Like, unless it's like, okay, you took a $20 million haircut. Like, okay, fine, that would make some sense. But the Mets don't have any reason to offer him that now.
That's what I mean. That's why I don't think he's coming back. I think someone will give him like a shorter, big money deal that he'll take. And
I know it might be them for all we know. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't place them as the favorites at all. Like, I wouldn't place him as the favorites to retain his services, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was there anyway.
And where I don't like, I know the Subway Series, although there was a tweet I saw that I think was accurate. I do think if they're the biggest threat to get Soto, threat, define that however you want, how realistic it is. Mm-hmm. I do think like watching how much fun the Mets have had on the same field. 4-0 sweep. I know in the grand scheme, the 162, that doesn't matter for the Yankees. But in terms of, all right, if I'm not even going to move cities, they're going to pay me more theoretically.
Right.
And I get to go play with Lindor, who's very cool and good. I don't think it's that crazy to assume like maybe the Yankees should have won one of those games, maybe two, just so it's like they can't have fucking the 2021 Red Sox beating them in Mets uniforms. Like it's
well, I think that there's a point there to be made, but I would assign it to different games. Like, I think the trade deadline and down the stretch will tell you whatever story needs to be told. Because, like, if you go out there and you have a strong deadline, or even if it's a strong deadline on paper that goes left somewhere along the line, I think if that's the case, and you go out there and you're competitive down the stretch, you get to the ALCS, let's say, you lose a hard fought ALCS, or you get to the Rose, whatever happens from there, like, I think that is important. Now,
Very
also
important.
with Juan Soto, like, I think it's clear two things about Juan Soto. That man is extremely self-confident.
Sure.
I don't know that he cares that much about what's around him because he thinks he's that guy. Like, I don't think he cares that much.
I agree.
I'm not saying he wants to play with shit either. All I'm saying is, you already have Aaron Judge. You don't have to do that much to put some guys around that to be like, okay, we got you two, and we got this, we got this, we got this. Hell, Austin Wells is making himself like a viable option going forward. You could point to it and be like, all right, we have him. He could hit a little bit. He could take the fuck out of a walk, and he could catch. You get two or three other dudes, it's an easy selling point. Yes, the Mets are a legitimate threat. I'm not here to argue that because they got the almighty green. And that leads to my next point. Whoever, the way Juan Soto has operated his entire career and who his agent is, makes me believe he's going to take $1 net bet. He's going to take $1 more than whatever the fuck the second team here is going to offer. So this is a money thing, and
sure.
not solely a money thing, but mostly a money thing. The Yankees can't do the whole, we'll give you a slight haircut, you'll make it back. Like, they can't do that because number one, he could go play in the same city.
Right.
Number two,
that's the problem.
Soto's right. Like, he could go play in the same city. Like, this is not okay. Yeah, you either take our money, you go to San Diego. Like, you don't have that out. You did that with Judge. Like, you can take our money, you can go to San Diego. And Judge, like, I'll take the haircut, even though realistically, the Judge took the haircut. And I'm starting to wonder, like, what else went into that? Like, I was like, you're gonna listen to me when I'm starting to wonder what else went into that. But all he did was save Hal money, at least what we know, because $40 million compared to like 43 is not doing shit. Like, he just saved Hal money. Good for them, I guess. But like, Juan Soto is an extremely marketable fellow, and again, he'd be playing in the same city, so you can't do the whole. Right. You play for the big old pinstripes, and you take $20 million less. You could make that shit back. Like, bro, I have you seen me? I'm Juan Soto. I could make that shit in fucking Queens too. Nobody cares. You can't play that card. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, hat still says New York on it. Doesn't say Queens versus Bronx.
And listen, there's 100% a difference in like how the Yankees are marketed. I'm not here to argue that. I think it doesn't matter for him. That's what I'm saying.
No, and I also don't think it matters.
He checks a lot of fucking boxes in a way that not many people do. Like, whether it's baseball or non-baseball.
I think part of that is because the Yankees are typically better than the Mets. I think if the Mets were better for a sustained period of time, the rest of the world wouldn't give a fuck. Like,
that's true. That's true.
Rich McLeod or McLeod, I think it's McLeod, but Rich McLeod saying this is the Mets fans World Series is the new Yankees fans World Series, which is true. Every year it feels like the Mets, whenever they win the Yankees games, the Yankees fans go, oh, this is just the Mets World Series. That's become the Yankees fans World Series, is getting to say that to Mets fans. Like, well, we still don't care about you. I don't care how many times you beat us. We just don't care. It's just very, as someone who doesn't care about either of these teams,
I think it's extremely corny when they do
I'm sure you do.
I think it's extremely corny when they do that. It's you guys World Series when you like. Can you just let them enjoy it? Like, they beat the piss out of the Yankees 4 times. Let them enjoy the shit. It's
one game. What Rodon game was closed, right?
What this go around? This series or the last series?
This series. Yeah, no, the first series I know was never closed.
Rodon, Rodon pitched.
Oh, Tampa. My apologies.
The first game of the series.
One of them was closed. Remember. Was it Nestor?
Yeah, the first one was close. The first one was 3-2.
Because game 2 was Cole, obviously. So was it Nestor? Yeah. Was it?
I don't fucking. Oh, it was Heel. It was Heel.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It was Heel. Yeah. So like, let's let them every year. Listen. I don't care about the Subway Series that much either. Okay, like you're not gonna get me to get hyped up about July games against a team that's not in my division or league. it is what it is. I like seeing what it does for other people. Like other people love it. My friends of mine love it. But I love what it does for them. Like that's great. And I love when they're hyped up about it and they talk their little shit. That's cool. I'm not trying to be the fun police. Have your fun. Like it's another series to me. With that being said, I'm not going to do no corny shit. Like if you want to rub it in my face, I'm just going to like good series. I'll be the boring guy. Like all right, good series and move on with my day. Like it's not affecting me that the Yankees lost to the Mets. The Yankees could have lost to the White Sox the same way, and I'd be saying the same shit. And what the same shit is, this team is boring me to sleep. That's the problem here. Not that they lost to the fucking Mets. Let them have their fucking fun, man. Yeah.
What is your prediction for these next three? Because it feels like the pitching matchups couldn't have lined up worse for you guys.
The Yankees losing more games than they win.
Yeah, I could see that.
Simply put, like whether it's 3 games or 2 games, they're not winning the series. I feel very confident saying that much. They're not winning.
It's where it's like if they came in and took 2 out of 3 or swept the Red Sox, that's the type of thing right before the trade deadline that could really ignite them the rest of the season. So I think it's a more important series for the Red Sox than it is the Yankees. We've obviously lost the 5 out of 6. Are we 5-1 or 4-2 against you guys? Did we sweep you the first? No, it was 2 out of 3. So 4-2 this year. Just keep going at that pace. Take the series. A sweep would be great. We don't win on Fridays, so I'm already counting that one as a loss. But one of our 4 Friday wins was the Yoshida bomb into the deep night sky. So it's if we're going to beat a team, the Yankees are
stinker, but go ahead.
On the table. They are absolutely a team that can lose to the Friday Red Sox. So, yeah, go win those 2. Go make, I don't know what kind of it feels like every team in the AL East is looking at Luis Rengifo, who I understand is a fine baseball player. Pass. Fucking pass, dude. I'm all set.
Oh, brother. The Yankees acquiring the heavy on contact, low on power guy with a wrist issue would drive me insane. Like, what the
Even outside of that, the Angel. I don't want to fuck with this one Angel I'd be okay with, and it's the lefty pitcher who diced us up twice this year. And apparently is no.
What Detmers?
Yeah, Reed Detmers.
Yeah.
If they're really getting rid of him, yeah, I would love him to get in the factory and have Craig.
Like, I think he could be really good somewhere else.
Because he's still like 25, I think. He's
still really young. He's still really young. It's like 25 or 26. He's still young.
His age 25. He just turned 25. 17
right.
days in July. He just turned 25. So he's 3-6 with a 6.14 ERA. I think he's like 2-0 with a 0 ERA against the Red Sox this year. So it's good to know he's 1-6 with like a 9 against the rest of the league. Yeah, I'm all in on that. In terms of, because he hasn't been there long enough to be like fully. I know he came up with the Angels. He's been there 4 years. I don't want any fucking loser Angels on my team. Not a one of them. Not a one outside of him because he's young and still malleable. The rest of them, like I can't have it. Can't have it.
You don't want the loser juice to come into the Red Sox clubhouse.
Don't want any part of it.
No, but like jokes aside, though, it's impossible to know. Like, okay, which one of these dudes is on the perpetual loser is going to come to the team expected to do something and be good? It's impossible. It's an impossible science. Because hell, there are some dudes who will be good for other teams that like are in meaningful playoff games and all that, and then come to New York or Boston and suck. So like, yo, it's an impossible fucking science. So like, not wanting the dude who, okay, he's done whatever he's done in largely meaningless games. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing. Even though like I want him just as little as you do for very different reasons. Because like you want to overperform in contact hitter with a wrist problem, miss me with it, please. I don't care what team he plays for. Miss me with it.
Well, I also just think we have better options, so that's where I'm not like crazy all in on him. Like in-house, not necessarily better, but other options who could be as good.
I mean, you don't have to pay for them. You could just play those guys and
I'd rather just give Vaughn Grissom
trip somebody else. Yeah,
I'd rather give Vaughn Grissom just like a fair shot. Like just let's see. Like maybe he's bad. He's still the youngest player on the team. He just started his rehab assignment. So he got the flu and hurt and lost like 15 pounds or something. So he just came back and like anytime he hit the ball, it was just like very weakly somewhere.
Okay.
So he put weight back
so he
on.
was DJ LeMahieu. Got it. Okay, carry on.
Maybe worse. Like it was not. At least he's like 21. Like at least he's like 21, not at the end of his career. Although sometimes
I wish his career would end. But anyways, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Carl Crawford. He was in the division on the same field, tearing us up, and then he got to wear the other uniform and just fell apart immediately. Like it, you really have no idea.
There's no exact science here, man.
In the division, it's fine. No, just there's no way to figure it out. None.
Yeah.
But yeah, Red Sox, Yankees this weekend, third series of the year.
Oh,
Even
joy.
next year, I think the first time they play is either late May or June, like which is just dumb, just as idiotic as it gets.
We get to see the Yankees try and pitch to Rafael Devers nonstop. And never just put him on first. It's great.
That's going to be fun. At least it's not Stroman at home, so maybe you guys get a shot in that game, but I'm not terribly worried about the weekends.
I don't. Why on earth would you be?
Yeah. No, it's a fair question.
Why would you be? No reason to be worried.
But we'll probably, at post-trade deadline, we'll do a show next week just so we can talk about that and that series. We'll see everybody then.
Yes, sir.